Hare Krishna, good evening. We will continue this evening to discuss Nectar of Instruction, verse 3 purport. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jananjana Shanakam Shakshun Meritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarane Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we will continue with discussing text 3. Utsahan Isayadayat Tat Karma Pavachtanat Sanghatyaga Satovite Satpir Bhakti Prashidati. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service: being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu, Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering of Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of devotional service. So we continue with the purport. Devotional service means transcendental activities. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by the 3 modes of material nature. This is called Vishuddha Sattva, the platform of pure goodness or goodness free from the contamination of the qualities of passion and ignorance. In this Krishna conscious movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning, by 4 o'clock, and attend Mangal Arti or morning worship, then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtan, and so forth. Thus we hold continuous activity in devotional service 24 hours daily. This is called Sattva-vritti, or following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities. So here it is said that devotional service is transcendental activity. So the first question comes here: what is transcendental activities? Transcendental activities are activities where Krishna is put into the center. So Krishna consciousness means coming in contact with Krishna. Prabhupada said transcendental touch. That it means manmana, thinking of Krishna. So on the transcendental platform, there is no contamination of the material nature. It's called Suddha Sattva. What is this Suddha Sattva? This is explained by Lord Shiva to Sati. And Lord Shiva defines this Visuddha Sattva. It is in the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 23. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Saptitam Yadichyate Tatra Pumam Apavrita Sattve Satasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo Yadoksayome Namasa Vidiyate. I am always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. So that's factually the goal of pure yoga. That the goal of yoga is described in the Bhagavad Gita as Chitatma Prashantasma Paramatma Samaita. When the mind is conquered means when it's free from passion and ignorance, it's in pure goodness. Then the mind is conquered. And then the Lord, as in the heart, Paramatma, when there's direct contact with the Lord in the heart, it's revealed. And here, because Krishna as Paramatma is always in the heart, but we cannot get direct darshan, direct experience, because it's covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. Therefore, Lord Shiva says, I'm always engaged in offering obeisance to Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. So, therefore, to come in contact with Krishna, that's called devotional service. The devotion brings us in contact with Krishna. And here Prabhupada says, in this Krishna conscious movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 o'clock and attend Mangalarti or morning worship, then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtan and so forth. So before 4 o'clock, we should get up and perform all these activities without interruption. It is that we hold continuous activities 24 hours a day, and that's important. Devotional service must have the quality of being uninterrupted. That apatiyata Savaipum sapo dharmo yato bhaktira duksha ahait kapatiyata yatma subhashidat. It must be this verse says here the supreme occupation for mankind is pure devotional service to the Lord, who cannot be perceived by material senses. But such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted, and then it gives great pleasure to the self. So to get the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, it must be uninterrupted and just pure to please Krishna. No other motivation. And 24 hours a day. So Prabhupada says that also in Bhagavad Gita in a purport, one should learn to organize one's life that one cannot do anything else than think of Krishna 24 hours a day. And Prabhupada has given us this morning program expertly. It contains the 5 most potent items of devotional service. It's all included, that 5 most potent items. Of course, it means chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, worship the deities, hearing the scriptures, serving the devotees, living in a holy dham with the temple. It's all included. And that has been established by Rupa Goswami. That is 5 most potent items. So we are following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami and all the previous acharyas. Sato Vritti, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. And they expertly fill their time with Krishna consciousness. In the Nectar of Devotion, there is mentioned that when we is in bhava, the preliminary stage of love of God. That one of his qualities is he does not waste time, always busy with Krishna conscious activities, because 1 second lost you can never get back. That therefore we should use our time well in Krishna consciousness. That yeah, just a moment, because I've problems with sharing. I share again. Okay. Moment. I can't move my screen. That's the problem. Please stop. I'm going to the program here. See what's wrong. Yeah. Seems back to the. It's frozen. I quit it. No, it doesn't move. Interesting. Anyway, let's find another solution. Yeah. I'm coming back. So my ruler, I cannot share it anymore. Can I do? I will read from another device. Nectar instruction, text 3, text. But maybe I can get it on the.
Should I try to share, Maharaj?
You can, yeah. That okay. Now we can go down to the next paragraph. Yeah. So can someone read the next paragraph up to just before the quote?
If one strictly follows the advice given in the verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, namely being enthusiastic, being confident, being patient, giving up association of unwanted persons. Bear with me, guys. My screen just did something weird. Following regular principles, remaining in the association of devotees, one is sure to advance in devotional service. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that the cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation, the collection of mundane opulence by the advancement of fruitive activities, and the desire for yoga siddhis, material perfections, are the contrary of the principle of devotional service. One has to become thoroughly callous to such non-permanent activities and turn his attention instead to the regulative principles of devotional service, according to the Bhagavad Gita 2.69.
Yes, so that's very, very encouraging. Rupa Goswami says if you follow these principles, these 6 principles mentioned in this verse, you are bound to make spiritual advancement. But then that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj says, cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation must be given up, because they are non-permanent activities. There is no touch with transcendence. That it's knowledge of philosophical speculation. Especially in India, we find the 6 darshans, it's all philosophical speculation, and it is atheistic. So we should not go also in that. Also, academic study. Academic study is useless for devotional service, because it will never lead to vijnan. We need realized knowledge, not book knowledge. And realized knowledge is given by Krishna in the heart. And so that will not help us. The collection of mundane opulence by the advancement of fruitive activities. Collection of mundane opulence by the advancement of fruitive activities. Sometimes in devotional service that may creep in ways, in different ways. Sometimes every Ekadasi has a name that we find that in the Gaudiya calendar. I think the next Ekadasi is on Sunday, the 6th of July, Sayana Ekadashi. And we find in the Karmakanda literature for each of these Ekadashi a whole list of benefits. If you follow this Ekadashi, you will get that advantage, and that advantage. But it's all about advancement in fruitive activities. It's Karmakanda. That a devotee is not interested in this kind of advantages of Ekadashi. No, that Ekadashi is meant to diminish our bodily activities and to dedicate more time to pure devotional activities. Therefore, it's called the mother of devotion. But it's not a mother of material benefits, as we find in Karmakanda. And I've many times seen that. And you have stories of that Ekadashi, this person did that or that, followed this Ekadashi and got this benefit. So we have to be careful that we stay in the realm of transcendence, as enunciated here by all these great acharyas, previous acharyas, and the desire for yoga siddhis and material perfection are all contrary to the principles of devotional service. They are contrary. So one has to become callous to such non-permanent activities and turn his attention instead to regulate the principles of devotional service. So this is very important. Devotional service means doing what's really necessary for our spiritual advancement, the essence, and so we must always think what is our priority. So we should become callous to such non-permanent activities. Yeah, this is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. One should come out of the forest of delusion, second chapter, and should become callous to all what is as what is to be heard. That so many, this is important for our spiritual advancement. That we do not dive in all these things which come of the social media and so on. So that's Bhagavad Gita 252. Yadate moakali lambudir vyati tarishyati. Tadagam dasin nirvedam shrutavasya shrutasyasa. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. This indifferent does not mean that we are making our heart hard. No. But indifferent means no attachment to these things. And then we have here on the screen this verse of Bhagavad Gita. Can someone else continue to read Bhagavad Gita 269?
Yeah, Maharaj, I can read.
Yeah.
Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato muneha. What is the night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Engagement in the devotional service of the Lord is the life and soul of the living entity. It is the desired goal and supreme perfection of human life. One has to become confident about this, and one has to be confident that all activities other than devotional service, such as mental speculation, fruitive work, or mystic endeavor, will never yield any enduring benefit. Complete confidence in the path of devotional service will enable one to attain his desired goal. But attempting to follow other paths will only succeed in making one restless. In the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, one must be calmly convinced that those who have given up devotional service to engage in severe austerities for other purposes are not purified in their minds. Despite their advanced austerities, because they have no information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Thank you.
Mm.
So what is night for all beings is a time of awakening of the self-controlled. Yes, we see that many times that here for the moment it's 3:24 a.m. and it's very calm everywhere. That everyone is sleeping. But in our temples at this time everyone is awake or everyone gets up. That then the materialists like to spend the night in sense gratification, but that's the time we are going, to sleep. So yes, a different lifestyle, but different objectives in life. But only these activities of devotional service, they are awakening our natural propensity to love Krishna. And by that, we feel satisfied that the activities, these are the activities of the self-controlled control of the mind, the senses, and so on, can only be achieved by engaging the mind, intelligence, in this, and the senses in the service of Krishna. And that there can be no satisfaction otherwise. So it's a different lifestyle, and especially a different consciousness. That, but this engagement in devotional service, Prabhupada said, it's natural. It's not an imposition of the mind, because that's what every living entity in the spiritual world does. That's our natural position. That and it's a supreme perfection to come back to our original position as Krishna Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Jiva Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. We are an eternal servant of Krishna. Of course, this realization of being an eternal servant of Krishna knows two stages. The first is I realize that I'm a servant of Krishna and therefore engage in devotional service. And later, when we become purified, our rasa or our specific relationship with Krishna will be revealed. That in one of the five rasas, servitorship, friendship, parental love, conjugal love, that so engagement in devotional service is the life and soul of every living entity. It is the desired goal and the supreme perfection for human life. One has to become confident about this. This is important. Understanding. Confident means one must be convinced, Srila Prabhupada said, by engaging in devotional service, I will achieve all perfection. That and of course, Prabhupada turns it into the negative here. One should be confident that all activities other than devotional service, mental speculation, fruitive activities, mystic endeavor, will never yield any enduring benefit. It can only give temporary benefit. If one performs austerities, that or fruitive work may get the fruits, but the fruits are temporary. Mystic endeavor means mystic power, means materialistic powers. That it's all temporary. Whatever one achieves in this world, it's temporary. It is not worthwhile. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that already at the beginning of the seventh chapter, of the second chapter, it says that na sato vidyade bhavo na bhavo vidyate sata ubayora padristantas tvanyastat vadakshabi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent material body there is no endurance, and of the internal there is no change. So there are two natures, the material temporary nature and the eternal spiritual nature. And only the eternal is the reality, ultimate reality. The temporary activities are not worthwhile. Engaging in them for the benefit of getting these temporary activities is losing one's time. A devotee does not do that. Because Krishna says that when one engages, when one lives only for the pleasure of the mind, the senses, he lives in vain. So a devotee is very careful how to spend his time, and he does only want to spend his time in pure spiritual activities. So complete confidence in the power of devotional service will enable one to attain the desired goal, but attempting to other paths will only succeed making one restless. And that's confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that in 240, Bhogasvara Pashaktanam Tarapriti Shetisam Vyavsatmika Buddhi Samodana Vidiyati. In the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and are bewildered by such things, the determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So it's here Prabhupada says one will only succeed in making one restless. That only the path of devotional service can gets our minds fixed on one goal. If the mind becomes attached to sense gratification, then we cannot make spiritual advancement. That when devotional, if one becomes attached to Krishna, one becomes attached for material sense gratification. If one becomes attached to material sense gratification, one cannot become attached to Krishna. That's just opposites. So one must be calmly convinced that those who have given up devotional service to engage in severe austerities for other purposes are not purified in mind. So they are not pure in mind. Not pure in mind and also not pure in intelligence. Because they don't understand the nature of devotional service. And Prabhupada suggests they have no information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Now, can someone else read the next paragraph? It is further stated.
It is further stated in the 10th canto, although mental speculators and fruitive actors may perform great austerities and penances, they still fall down because they do not have information about the lotus feet of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord, however, never fall down. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 31, the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures Arjuna, Kunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
Yes.
Again, okay.
Yeah, thank you. So this Kantya Padijani Nami Bhaktya Panashyati, Krishna say my devotee never perishes. So that's very encouraging. That yesterday in a class for Africa, we discussed this point. That Krishna says my devotee never perishes. You see, sometimes devotees fall away from devotional service because of offenses or other activities, or undesirable activities. But it's temporary. Krishna brings them back. That there was this devotee. It was in the 70s, somewhere in America. Was a devotee who went 2 years on book distribution, but then they say he blooped. He went back to his old ways. And 2 years later, the devotee visited him, and the fallen devotee said to the devotees, "Can you believe it? I really try my best to forget Krishna, but every day he comes into my mind." So he could not forget Krishna. Once you have taken to the path of devotional service, Krishna will drag you home, although you may deviate sometimes, but he will always bring you back. So that is Krishna, my devotee, will never perish. So that is Krishna's promise. Krishna makes many statements like that in Bhagavad Gita about devotional service. He says in this practice there is no diminution, no loss. And then you have 925. Ananya Sintiantamam Yechana Parapastite Sanityabhuktam Yoga Semavamyam. He says that I carry to my devotees what they lack and I give what they need to advance further. So Krishna is his care plan for his devotees. We may not always be able to understand it, but it gives us what we need. So Prabhupada speaks here about this, about mental speculative, fruitive actors, those who perform austerities. They still fall down. Why are they falling down? Because unless one is situated on the transcendental platform of that Visuddha Sattva, there's chance of falling down. Srila Prabhupada said yes. So there is chance of falling down. He said an Uttam Adhikar, there is no chance of falling down. And he said a Madhyam Adhikar does not fall down. Only the Kanishta Adhikar can fall down. Because when you come on the Madhyam platform, we have attained liberation. We are at Nishta, that steady devotional service. Your mind cannot be deviated from Krishna. But the neophyte devotee can fall down. But still, even a neophyte devotee is better situated than the mental speculators, those who perform austerities, penances, and so on. Is on a higher platform. If we stick nicely to following the four relative principles, chant and hear and follow this morning program, that if we are steady, we will not fall down. So can someone read the verse 240 again in Bhagavad Gita?
Sure. Again, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Neha Hikrama Nashosti Pratyavo Na Vijate Swapam Api Asya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Ayat. I know I slaughtered that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
In the endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and the little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Thank you, thank you. So a little advancement on the path, on this path, can protect one of the most dangerous type of fear. What is this most dangerous type of fear? Srila Prabhupada explains this most dangerous type of fear is to become degraded in next life, going towards animal life. So that means Prabhupada explains that even if we are not successful in devotional service, even a little performance of devotional service guarantees next life you will at least get a human body again. You will not be degraded, because that's the most dangerous type of fear. And we see in this world that so many sensual activities are promoted that everyone is prepared in this material world to go to hell with great speed, to go to the animal life. That because the body is the center of all activities. Because who goes towards animal life is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Those who are in a mode of ignorance, that those who take intoxication, those who eat flesh meat, that and most part of the population is engaging in these activities. That but a devotee is saved from that. From that, his future is brilliant. Our Guru Maharaj Bhakti Maharaj told us many times, don't look back. Your future is brilliant. That only look forward. That forget the past. You cannot change. That the future we don't know, but we have the present. And our present activities are the basis of our future. That so even if we perform a little devotional service, but previously Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami, Sesha, one should perform devotional service, devotional activities 24 hours a day. So if one does that and follow this formula, we find here in this third verse, one is bound to be successful. That and this is therefore a very important verse, this third verse of Nectar of Instruction. We have been studying it for many, many weeks, but it contains the essence of making spiritual advancement. I will read the next paragraph. Devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to the ultimate success. That sometimes a person will give up his ordinary material engagement and out of sentiment take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and thus begin the preliminary execution of devotional service. Even if such an immature devotee falls down, there is no loss on his part. On the other hand, what is the gain of one who executes the prescribed duties according to Varna and Ashram, but does not take to devotional service? Although a fallen devotee may take his next birth in a low family, his devotional service will nonetheless resume where he left it off. Devotional service is ahait kapatiyata. It is not the effect of any mundane cause, nor can it be terminated by any mundane cause, or permanently curtailed by any material interruption. Therefore, a devotee should be confident about his engagement and should not be very interested in the activities of jnanis, karmis jnanis and yogis. So devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to the ultimate success. It is said, to the ultimate success. That so this is Krishna's plan, that once we perform devotional service, Krishna reciprocates with us, but he reciprocates with our purity in desire. So devotional service is so pure and perfect that it's pure, and this is explained also in Bhagavad Gita, how devotional service is pure. Raja Vicha Raja Guyam Pavitram Itam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vaganam Dharmam Susukam Kartum Avyam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It's the purest knowledge, and it gives direct perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion, is everlasting and joyfully performed. It is pavitram, it is the purest. So it is so pure, Prabhupada writes here, and perfect, that one is forcibly dragged to the ultimate success. That the verse in Bhagavad Gita says it is pure. Why is it pure? Because it gives direct perception to the self by realization. That's why it's pure. And that's interesting because we spoke about Lord Shiva's verse, Sattvam Vishuddham Sabditi, that which describes pure devotional service, that pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is consciousness in which the Lord is revealed within the heart without any covering. So it gives perception to the Lord, but also perception to the self. One sees both. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, in the second chapter, there the process of devotional service is described. It says, so when one attains this in perfection, so it's so pure and perfect, one is forcibly dragged to the ultimate success. And this process, of course, starts with Tato jastamova kamalo psayasi sitere teranavitam satve pasidati. That as soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of the modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, hankering, disappear from the heart. then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes happy. That is how you are forcibly dragged to success. It purifies the heart. And then evam pansamanasa bharvat bhaktiyorta bharvatat vavishyanam mukta sangyasya jayate. One comes to unalloyed goodness, and then one becomes enlivened by contact with devotional service. So one comes in contact with Krishna in the heart, and that's very enlivening. And one gets positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead, and then one attains the stage of liberation. So then one is dragged further to the ultimate success. What happens then? Vidyate retaye gantis sityante sarva samsya ksyanti sarva karmani dristva evat manishvari. The knot of the knot in the heart is pierced. The knot of attachment to this world is broken. All misgivings are cut to pieces. You see things very clear now. And then the chain of fruitive actions, all your karma is gone. And one sees the self as master. So one comes to the point of seeing the pure self. And one sees the pure self and sees Krishna in the heart at the same time. So sometimes a person will give up his ordinary material engagement and out of sentiment take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So yes, that is also the beginning of devotional service. And we may fall down, yes, but Rupa Goswami or Srila Prabhupada say there is no loss, no diminution. That you take birth again, you continue your devotional service where you left off. So Krishna this is Krishna's plan for us, his care plan, that life after life, he brings us further and further up to the ladder of devotional service. So the effect of devotional service, because devotional service is transcendental and eternal, the effect is eternal. Whatever advancements you made, you keep that. Therefore, a devotee is not interested in activities of the karmis, jnanis, and yogis. They get only temporary results. That's not desirable. So this verse, this commentary, it points really to the essence of devotional service. And becoming a Mahatma means becoming a Paramahamsa. A Paramahamsa is a swan who knows to take out of a mixture of milk and water only the milk, takes the essence. So devotee is only interested in the real essence, the real thing, not the temporary. And that's also something we have to be aware of in our own lives. Everything we are doing not in Krishna consciousness will only yield material reactions, either positive or negative. And it's not. That means that the result of our activities will accrue after death. But when we perform devotional service, then all these results of past activities will be destroyed, and we will not have to suffer the reactions. And while we are engaging in devotional service, no further contamination can come in. We are protected. Our devotional service, this consciousness filled with devotion, is our only protection in this world. So, we ask if there are any questions, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please. Good. There are no questions. We will continue next week. Hearing this nectar of instruction is very important. And I would say we hear it.
Can you wait?
We hear it and we should contemplate on it, reflect on it, and adapt our lifestyle, direct it towards pure devotional service. And that's done starts with hearing, especially this nectar of instruction. Thank you very much. There are no questions. I look forward to serve you again next week at the same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Have a good rest. Jai Prabhupada.
His Holiness Bhakti Prabha Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Prabhupada.